Howdy folks, welcome back to Rowdy Muscle of Alaska. I certainly hope you just watched an intro of cool things happening with this truck, because right now, cool things are not happening with this truck. As you guys saw last time, I picked this thing up, revived it. As far as I can tell, the engine had not run in 20 years. Just needed a little bit of tinkering, and she runs like an absolute top now. But she does not do the drive, unfortunately. So what we're going to do today, right now, is dive in. What you guys saw last time is I could put the transmission into gear. The transmission goes into all gears perfectly fine. The clutch works. But what we do not have is transfer case action. I played with the transfer case shifter, and if the transfer case is in neutral, the transmission will spin the transfer case input. This truck has a divorced transfer case, and the transfer case input will spin, but neither transfer case output will spin. The previous owner already took the rear drive shaft off and tied it up away from the rear axle. That's why it rolls. Of course, it's no longer in front of the shop now. It's up here in the row of vehicles out of the way. And yeah, so neither transfer case output spins, but the input will spin. And well, I couldn't tell you exactly what's wrong with it because, well, I have no idea. My best hope is that the old transfer case is just full of water. And of course, water's frozen right now and ice is pretty hard. So I would hope that it's just ice, but you know, I feel like you only get that lucky once in your life, and I've already been that lucky once because that's how my 67 Highboy was. So, anywho, I'm going to crawl under there. I've got the world's scungiest drain pan over there, and my pockets are full of tools. And I'm going to drain the old transfer case and see if anything comes out. And, well, frankly, I hope nothing comes out, because that would mean that it's probably ice. Well, folks, there's my bad news delivery of the day. Definitely looks like we have some gear oil in there. I don't know what kind of crafty goo that is. You can see it kind of glopping out of there. So, it looks like the old PTO cover here has to come off so I can get a gander into the transfer case and figure out what kind of catastrophic nonsense is going on inside. Alrighty, folks. Well, I have a funny tale to tell you. So, see that drive shaft spinning? So we have two-wheel drive. We do not have the four-wheel drive. Funny enough, I took the PTO cover off the transfer case and had a look in there. Couldn't see any big issues. And then I got kind of angry, to be honest, and I cold started the old girl. I didn't film any of it because I was, you know, a little on the not pleased side of things. So we cold started it, and I just messed around with the transfer case until things started working. So, if I find U-joint caps for that drive shaft, we'll be rallying around the yard in no time. Howdy, folks. It's a brand new day, and as you can tell, I'm chilling in the warm pickup here for a moment. Last night we went ahead and got to working on the International here, and what I've deduced is the transfer case is not the issue. It took all 5 of my brain cells to figure that one out, believe it or not. So it more than likely would be the front axle is our problem. It's either completely blown up or it's full of water. I highly doubt it's full of water. I'd say she's blown up, and that's probably why it got parked in the early 2000s, is that they blew up the front axle, and a plow truck without four-wheel drive is a little bit kind of useless. So, yeah. But if I put the transfer case in too high, the rear drive shaft spins. The rear drive shaft was removed from the rear axle way long ago, and it's been tied up, and that's part of why it wouldn't move before. So, yeah. Unfortunately, the U-joint caps have fallen off. I need to locate a couple U-joint caps. I'd slap those guys on there and then bolt the drive shaft back on, and I think we'll be driving in two-wheel drive, which is better than nothing. So, yeah. Alrighty, we're up at the old engine pile. That right there is a 318 and a 727 transmission that's going to my buddy Just a Car Addict here on YouTube. It's gonna go in his Challenger, you know, and we're gonna pretend it's not covered in snow. It's definitely not locked up, it's fine. There's a Lister engine that came off an old pump. Under there's two like 4-400 engines, and there's a 304 International under there too. And somewhere about this lump or that lump should be like 3 different drive shafts that came from that travel all. There's also an NP205 under there too. So we're gonna grab the shovel and start excavating. Well, we got a little lucky. We've got 1, 2, 3 U-joint caps, so we should be mint to go. And you don't even need to worry about reusing U-joint caps. It's no big deal. Well, folks, it's been a day or two. Well, I think it's been 2 days to be exact. And, well, we got some more snow, of course. One of the most annoying things about Alaska, or I guess the northern climates in general, is you leave your project for a couple days and Mother Nature tries to reclaim it. And she goes on the fast track. She just covers it with the snow. So, I just got off work. And, well, I'm too excited to leave this thing alone, so I want to drive it now. I got the drive shaft bolted back in right after the last video clip. I didn't really feel like videoing while I was laying in the snow under the truck. But fortunately, when they took the drive shaft off, they left the U-joint straps in the cab. So I was able to find those. You gotta watch out for your custom fuel line there. So yeah, here in a few minutes I'll get you guys set up on the old spare camera so that I can do the old reach around and operate the choke, since I don't have any control over that. And then we'll try and start this thing up. Hopefully it cold starts. I guess we'll find out. And, well, hopefully it drives too. Another thing I guess we'll find out. Maybe the whole rear end's blown up. Wouldn't that just be neat? There, I think that ought to do. Just store that there, I suppose. Check on the vital signs and make sure it's got all the important schmooze. Appears as though it does. Might be a little more fuel-y than the last time, but that's all right. Oh yeah, she's good. See if it's still holding the... Oh yeah, it's still got the green stuff in there. In case you didn't know, I did put coolant in it the last time I ran it. So we'll just hook up this bad boy, and then I'll get you guys set up on the other camera, because I got to do the reach around and operate the choke, because I don't think it's going to start with the choke open. Alrighty, let's see if she'll do the do. I want a little less choke than that. Just a little bit less choke. We'll try that out. Well, shoot, this thing cold starts like a dream. We'll just fire up the old heater here. Thankfully, it stops that god-awful scream after a few seconds, so that's good. Oh yeah, this thing's a peach. A real cherry machine, I tell you what. Well, that great oil pressure we had appears to be no more, so that's not really cool, but you know, oh well. I did find out that the choke cable here is hooked up to the throttle. So that's nice. That controls the throttle. So then this one would have been the choke that doesn't work anymore. But it is nice she's got a high idle. So I think let's see if she'll actually move. Oh yeah, she'll drive. Before I parked this thing, I put brake fluid in the master cylinder and pumped the pedal a few times. And, well, it feels like there's kind of something there. Sort of. Maybe. Yeah, it pumps up, so I think we have brakes. So, I think we're going to try and go ahead and drive on down to the shop here once the window kind of clears up a little bit. I think that's high. Because that's not high. Yeah, there we go. You just gotta find the sweet spot. Alrighty, well, considering the facts, those facts being it's snowing right now, that was the first drive in 20 years, and I don't really care. That was a pretty decent first drive, no kidding. It drives. The brakes sort of seem to work, actually, which is pretty neat that seems to be trying to work. It got a little bit of heat down in here in the front, so that's cool. Oh yeah, the radiator's warm, so that all's working. I don't know why that's all wet, but yeah, pretty decent first drive. The clutch looks like it's leaking fluid now, so that's cool. And the clutch was kind of not really 100% doing the thing, but it did the thing enough to do the thing where the truck moved, which was good enough for me, you know. So yeah, now that she's down here, oh yeah, and that cool like grindy noise. I don't know if you guys heard that. I didn't film from inside because I was trying to, see through the little peephole, and then you saw I put my headlamp up here on the hood so that I had, a headlight, because that doesn't work, and, well, there's nothing there to work. So I put my headlamp up here so I could see, and then I just didn't want to, try and video and commentary when, I might actually hit things, and that's usually not good. Especially, like, I wouldn't want to ruin all this beautiful sheet metal, So anyhow, pretty decent first drive, and, I don't know really what the grindy noise was. That, like, came and went. When I got down here, I, like, backed up and pulled forward a couple times, and the, like, grinding noise, it was just there. So, I don't know about that, but it might be tied to the transfer case still, because currently there's no PTO cover on it, and currently there's no oil in it. But, it was like 100 feet. It doesn't really matter. Quality first drive, though. So, yeah, now we're going to probably put the PTO cover on and put fluid in the transfer case, and I guess we'll see if that sort of takes care of that issue. And I kind of want to take the diff cover off the front, but I don't really know if I want to dive into that quite yet. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens first. Boy, I tell you something, I picked a really bad night to be out here wanting to turn wrenches, because you see all that snow coming down? That hood was cleared off when we started, and it's just coming down like you wouldn't believe. This stuff's insane. But, oh well. Well, story of my life. I got the transfer case all lubricated up, filled with oil, and then I climbed up on the roof of the truck to prime the fuel system, because I thought it had just lost its prime, just to find that since we've started this whole escapade, that truck has used 5 whole gallons of gas. Well, about 5 gallons. The gas can wasn't completely full, but that's still quite a bit of gas. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go get more fuel for the old girl. Well, do you ever feel like you're just repeating the same thing over and over again? Alrighty, fuel on the roof again. I got 5 gallons of fuel. Think the carburetor's primed up good, so let's try and start this stupid thing again. Got the old neutral going on. Oh, we still got the high idle on. Nice. Well, that was easy. Well, I'm gonna let this thing warm up for a little bit, and then we'll try and, well, if this thing will stay running, I suppose, we'll try and go for a little rip around the yard. I'm gonna have to reprime the fuel a few times probably and fight this thing a whole lot, but hopefully we'll be able to go for a rip around the yard soon. Alrighty, so to make a long story rather short, this thing was running like garbage, like it was trying to die every now and then, and it had spark on and off, and well, my kind of hack job, coil wiring job, failed me, and that was our issue. So now it's actually like running on its own, and it doesn't just die every 10 seconds or so, which is pretty mint. So I think now we're ready to try and like actually sort of go for a drive. You can see I backed up and then pulled forward again just to kind of make sure it'll stay running a little bit, but yeah, I think we're ready to maybe try and go for a rip around the driveway. That's what success looks like, folks. Made it all that way and then it died. I think it lost fuel prime from the old gas can. This headache just won't stop. This thing just won't cooperate. It's almost like some hack job mechanic was working on it or something. I don't know. Well, this thing still just dies every now and then, so I don't know what's up with that, but we can try to go somewhere. That snowbank is not where we're trying to go. There we go. We're moving now, folks. Just gotta try and stay on the driveway. Oh yeah, no, she just starts spinning them rear tires. Are we stuck? I think we're stuck. The brakes kind of work. Let's see if we can get any movement now. Oh, there we go. Now we're up over the hill. Oh, that's not plowed. Oh, we're rolling. Stop rolling now. Oh, is it gonna die? It might die. Hold on. Well, I'm gonna leave this thing here for a minute, go get the old Alaskan all-trains from the shop, and then we'll try and plow through some of this here snow. It's not a whole lot of snow, but she's only two-wheel drive right now, so, you know. There's where we got stuck. It's nice and slick, polished up by the old bias plies. Just got this little bit of a incline up to there, and yeah, the bias plies really don't like that, it seems. Anywho, let's go find some chains. You know, for a awful truck that just won't stay running for a fella, she's a pretty majestic sight. Now if we can just make it stay running and stay moving and, you know, brake and whatnot. But for right now, let's throw on the old all-trains. How's that for a minty sight? I just cut these chains down the other day for this truck, and they're a little loose on here right now, but there's plenty of room to cut them down a few more lengths if I need to, so I just wanted to get them on here and try them out. These are big truck chains that I cut down, obviously, like I was saying, so they're not exactly for a 750/16. This side looks a little wimpier because of this wonk steer tire. I'm definitely going to have to grab a traction tire off the front and throw on here, but for right now, this will do. That is loose. Nice. So yeah, let's try and get her running and rip her through the snow a bit. Well, I got her going again. I'm pretty sure it's just starving for fuel. Once I get an actual fuel system hooked up to that electric pump there, or put a mechanical pump on the engine, whatever I decide to do, I think our solution will be that. I just don't think there's enough pressure from the gravity feed for the carburetor to keep it running. I'm pretty sure that's our issue, so. Summer issues, basically. Frankly, I'm just trying to park this thing for right now, and then in the summertime when I can actually get to setting up my gin poles on the back and whatnot, then I'll worry about the fuel system and all the other things that, well, frankly, I'm ignoring right now. Well, I've driven it less than 1,000 feet, and I can tell you right now, this thing's a riot. This thing's gonna be really fun come summertime. Alrighty, well, it was a bit of an uphill battle to get here, but here we are. Truck drives. When I came down the driveway here, I didn't film it, but I ripped her into second gear and got her cruising, and she actually moves pretty good. Seems like this thing will be a lot of fun come summertime when it's on the dirt again, and I won't need the chains to get around the yard. One of these days we'll figure out what's up with the front axle and maybe get the old 4x4 working again. But yeah, I got lots of plans for this truck. She's gonna probably stay around the yard for a little while, so you guys will have a lot to see about that. Well, thanks for coming on the adventure with me, folks. It was certainly a good time getting this old girl running after a 20-year slumber, slapping the chains on and going through a little bit of snow, you know. I had a good time, and thanks for your watching and your likes and your subscriptions and your comments and all that malarkey. I really appreciate it. And yeah, stick around because I got lots more to do with this truck. We're gonna slowly get her patched up and working like a real truck again. So yeah, until next time.